Hey, good morning. It's May 25th. Thanks so much for being here this morning. We're going to talk about something this morning that everyday thought is about making money. Now, we think about God's relationship to, say, the air that we breathe. We acknowledge that He gives us our very next breath, but we can't see it. So it's the truth that sort of gets filed away. But it's true. If I finish this video, if I take this next breath, that's God's purpose and plan. Well, God is just as intimately connected with the business of making money. This $10 bill is about something that I get from the hand of God. One of the interesting things here is on the back of this by the U.S. Treasury, but it still has, "In God we trust" in it. We're not very specific about that anymore, but it's true. The worth of this dollar, $10, is tied to the mercy and plan of God. Making money is about trusting God. And when we forget that, we lose sight of the very same reality that if I think I have the power to take my next breath, that's foolishness. That's from God. Well, it's also foolishness to think that this is something that I control or somebody else controls. God is in control of these things. In the New Testament wisdom book of James, he makes this point very clearly. Listen to what he says in chapter 4. "Now then, you who say, 'Today or tomorrow we will go to this city or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money.'" Sounds like a reasonable plan. Got a business plan. They're scoping it out. They've decided where they want to go. Hey, we're going to go and we're going to make a profit. We're going to make some money. But James corrects them. "Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." So instead of this crazy plan, we're going to go somewhere and make money, instead of just saying we're going to do that, James is telling us instead, you ought to say, "If it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." As it is, you boast and brag. All such boasting is evil. Anyone then who knows the good that he ought to do and doesn't do it sins. The good here is acknowledging God's faithfulness, acknowledging that He's the one that makes the profit happen or doesn't make it happen. We are this dependent upon God. This is part of the will of God. This is a nice picture of Mr. Hamilton, but it's not worth anything unless we think it is. Our money's not backed up by gold anymore. I'm actually old enough. I remember that you could get a dollar bill like this or a $10 bill, and down here would be a little line that would say redeemable in gold or silver to the bearer of this note. Now it's just this. It's in theory, it's not even worth this paper, but we believe it is, and so we act on it. So every time you spend money, you're acting in faith. What James is reminding us is to act on the basis of real faith. God is the one who brings the profit, or doesn't bring the profit. We need to learn from that. The parable of the rich fool in Luke 12, the problem wasn't that he had a lot of money. The problem was he didn't acknowledge God with his money. So what we're learning here is whether you make a lot of money or a little bit of money, whether you scramble for every dollar you get or it's apparently abundant or you're somewhere in the middle, this is all God's doing. We are that dependent upon Him. Set your heart on the things that will bring honor to God, including the money that you make. This is not something that's random. This money that we say "In God we trust" reminds us of our history and all that. It only has value if it's what God wills and what he wants. Let's acknowledge him in the ways that we make our money and our dependence upon him for our care in terms of financial things, just as much as for this air that I'm breathing right now. And that's the thought for today. Again, give me some thoughts and feedback on that. Again, love being with you. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. Again, love these times to be with you, and thanks so much for your interaction. Lord bless you this day. And the things that you do is because of the will of God, including the money you make. Have a great day. Bye-bye.